today's session, we have with us Mr. Sanjay Deshpande, who will be taking us to a journey through one of India's most beautiful natural treasure, the Kanha Tiger Reserve in Madhya Pradesh. Mr. Sanjay Deshpande has an elaborate portfolio in the field of construction and development, his recent specialization being environment studies and restoration. He is actively working on ecological balancing methods in Pune city. He started his career with DSK Group of Companies in 1989 as junior engineer. Since 2001, he is working as joint managing director of DSK Group while starting his own venture in partnership with Mrs. Ashwini Deshpande under the title of Sanjeevani Developers. I welcome you, sir, and I request Asmita ma'am to kindly felicitate Sanjay sir. Thank you, ma'am. I now request Sanjay sir to begin with his presentation and reveal to us the bountiful beauty of Kanha.
Good afternoon. I have the honor and pleasure to be at BCNA for 2 reasons. Right from beginning, I am associated with BCNA college, and Kashyap sir, Jivaka madam, and friends also. Another most important aspect is a bit personal. This site work as an engineer, मला नेहमी आर्किटेक्ट लोकांचं ऐकावं लागतं, आर्किटेक्ट सांगितलं ऐकावं लागतं, आणि इथे मला सगळे आर्किटेक्टला लेक्चर देत आहे. इथे तुम्हाला माझं ऐकावं लागतं. So it's as I say, the second reason is much personal, आणि म्हणून BNCला शेअरिंग म्हणा किंवा लेक्चर म्हणा याची मी कुठली संधी कधी सोडत नाही. But today's lecture is nowhere related to our architecture or construction or anything like that. In practical sense, in reality, nature is the biggest builder. As we'll proceed through our presentation, I won't call it a lecture or anything else. Even it's not a presentation. Consider that as sharing. तुमच्यातले किती लोक कानाला गेलेत? Bit less. बरं किती लोक कुठल्या नॅशनल पार्क मध्ये गेलेत? दॅट्स एनकरेजिंग. आणि कुठल्या काना सोडून कुठल्या नॅशनल पार्क मध्ये कोण गेलाय? बांधवगड. कॉर्बेट? ओके. अच्छा, कॉर्बेटला एकच हात, हरकत नाही. स्पेसिफिकली those who are newcomer to VANAJA, again I was associated with VANAJA since its beginning. I will say it's brainchild of all of us, like myself, Kashyap sir, Devaka madam. Then 2 of them are not there, Anuj Khare and Kiran Purandare, who themselves are a great wildlifer. When we start our architecture course, what we want to become? फक्त चांगले प्रोजेक्ट करून बिल्डिंग बांधून प्रोफेशनल फीज नाव कमवायचं म्हणजे आपण आर्किटेक्ट झालो असं होत नाही. व्हॉट वॉज अ कन्सेप्ट इन अवर माइंड वाईल स्टार्टिंग इन वनजा इज की काहीतरी खरोखर ज्याचा आपल्या डे टू डे लाईफवर परिणाम होईल, जे आपल्या आजूबाजूच्या निसर्गामध्ये भर घालेल. डे बाय डे वी आर ऑल्सो क्रिएटिंग जंगल्स, बट दे आर कॉन्क्रीट जंगल्स. इट्स अ फॅक्ट. ज्यांना आधीचं पुणे माहिती असेल थोडंफार, अगदी लहानपणचं का होईना, त्यावेळेसच्या पुण्याचं आणि आताच्या पुण्यामध्ये जमीन अस्मानाचा फरक पडलेला आहे. द बेसिक रिझन इज दॅट वी आर इंटरेस्टेड इन कॉन्क्रीट एलिव्हेशन्स, ग्लास फसाड्स. बट ॲट द सेम टाइम कुठेतरी या टाईपचे जंगल, जे कानाचे किंवा एनी फॉर्ममध्ये जंगल सर्वाइव्ह होणं पण तेवढंच आवश्यक आहे. आणि मेनी विल बी, म्हणजे मला माझे बिल्डर दोस्त गमतीने चिडवतात सुद्धा की सारखं काय जंगलात जातो, तिथे काय ठेवलेलं आहे. आणि मग समजा कानातला एखादा वाघ जगला काय किंवा मेला काय, इथे पुण्यात राहून आपल्याला काय फरक पडतो? मला सिग्नलला टाइम किती कमी लागेल हे जास्ती महत्वाचं आहे की कानातला एखादा वाघ जगणं जास्ती महत्वाचं आहे? आय थिंक हे कम्पॅरिझन करणं हाच एक मूर्खपणाचं किंवा इमॅच्युरिटीचं लक्षण आहे. वी नीड बोथ. वी नीड गुड सिटी लाईफ ॲज वेल वी नीड अ टायगर. Like we are happy in our own surrounding, that every animal has got equal right to be happy and contented in his own surrounding. आणि आज मी सिव्हिल इंजिनियर आहे, तुम्ही इथे सगळे बसलेले आर्किटेक्चरचं शिक्षण घेत आहेत. तुमच्यातले काही जण आर्किटेक्चर होतील पण ऍक्च्युअल फायनल इयरला जे असतील ते. सी For a human being, there are builders, there are engineers, there are architects, there are so many other professionals, consultants to make his life comfortable. जंगलातल्या एका मुंगीचं किंवा एका माकडाचं किंवा वाघाचं लाईफ कम्फर्टेबल करायला कोणी कन्सल्टंट नाही आहे. ते तुमच्या आमच्या सगळ्यांचं काम आहे. And I think there is where if you call ourselves human being, advanced species, most ज्याला आपण म्हणतो evolved species of the earth, then स्पायडरमॅनचं तुम्ही सगळ्यांनी वाक्य ऐकलं असेल किंवा माहिती असेल, विथ ग्रेट पॉवर्स कम अलॉंग ग्रेटर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज. सो इफ वी कॉल अवर सेल्फ ॲज अ इव्हॉल्ड स्पेसी अँड अ मोस्ट इंटेलिजंट स्पेसी, इट्स अ पॉवर टू अस अँड देन आवर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी इज ऑल्सो इक्वली ग्रेटर टुवर्ड्स अदर ॲनिमल्स. आय थिंक त्या भावनेतनं वनजा सुरू झालं होतं की आपण आर्किटेक्चर कोड करताना यू आर द क्रिएटर. सी युअर पॉवर इज यू विल बी क्रिएटिंग समथिंग आउट ऑफ नथिंग, अँड while creating, the architect in you is not just a draftsman or just an engineer or just a technocrat. The architect in you is a basically person who is well gelled with the nature. And unless and until you studied nature, you have been in nature, you have felt nature from within, you can't give justice to that डिझाईन वॉट एव्हर इट मे. मग एखादी झोपडी असो, मग फार्म हाऊस असो, किंवा स्कायस्क्रॅपर असो, किंवा टाउनशिप असो, किंवा IT पार्क असो, अनलेस अँड अनटिल तुमच्यातला नेचरशी कॉन्टॅक्ट किंवा तुमच्यातला नेचरशी जो थ्रेड बांधून ठेवलेला तो अलाईव्ह नसेल, तर त्या डिझाईनला माझ्या दृष्टीने तरी काही अर्थ नाही. आणि ऑफलेट जर तुम्ही बघितलं तर जेम्स लॉ पासून बाकी सगळे, BV जोशी, सगळे सिनियर आर्किटेक्ट्स, दे ट्राय टू जेल देअर डिझाईन्स विथ नेचर. सो वी थॉट की वाय वनजा विल स्टार्ट गिव्हिंग. वनजाचा हाच खरा उद्देश होता की तुमच्यातल्या प्रत्येकाला राईट फ्रॉम बिगिनिंग नेचर म्हणजे काय समजून द्यायचं, आणि त्यातनं मग पुढे काय शिकायचं ते तुमचा इंडिव्हिज्युअल प्रश्न आहे. ऑल व्हॉट वी कॅन डू इज, म्हणजे मला नेहमी जेव्हा येतं ते जंगलाने तुला काय दिलं, तर जंगलाने मला काय दिलं हे असं शब्दात सांगता नाही येणार. जंगलाला व्हिजिट द्यायच्या आधीचा संजय देशपांडे आणि जंगलाला व्हिजिट दिल्यानंतर, जंगलात राहायला लागल्यानंतर, जंगल समजून घेतल्यानंतरचा संजय देशपांडे, यात जमीन अस्मानाचा फरक आहे, एवढं मी तुम्हाला नक्की सांगू शकतो. तसंच ऑल दीज प्रेझेंटेशन्स, त्याच्या मागचा उद्देश काय आहे? त्याचा मागचा उद्देश तुम्हाला ज्ञान पाजणं नाही आहे कुठल्याही प्रकारचं. त्याचा मागचा उद्देश तुम्हाला नेचर नावाची एक गोष्ट, या कॉलेजच्या 4 भिंतींच्या बाहेर एक प्रचंड मोठं कॉलेज आहे नेचर नावाचं, आणि कान्हा नॅशनल पार्क सारख्या त्याच्या ब्रँचेस आहेत. सो through VANAJA, all myself and your professors were wanted to make you introduce की असं पण एक जग आहे. तर आज त्यानिमित्ताने आपण एका अशाच नेचरच्या अतिशय चांगल्या कॉलेजची ओळख करून घ्यायचा प्रयत्न करतोय. अबाउट कान्हा नॅशनल पार्क, टू स्टार्ट विथ, मी जसं म्हटलं की जर तुम्ही नेचर्स विषयीचे कोट किंवा नेचर्स विषयीचे फिलॉसॉफरचे कोट बघितलात तर देर आर n numbers of quotes, but deliberately I used few of which I like personally. Ki when you say forest, they say ki it's place between heaven and earth. नंतर त्याचा बेसिक अर्थ काय आहे की आपण म्हणतो की स्वर्ग कोणी बघितला? स्वर्ग आपल्याला कोणीच बघितला नाही, पण स्वर्ग बघायला मरायची पण गरज नाही आहे. जो इथे जिवंत राहून स्वर्ग बघू शकतो तो खरा वाईज पर्सन असं म्हणलं जातं. आणि जंगलाला व्हिजिट दिल्यानंतर आपल्याला कळतं की आपल्या डे टू डे ऍक्टिव्हिटीजच्या पेक्षाही एक वेगळं जग इथे आहे, आणि ज्याला तुम्ही खऱ्या अर्थाने स्वर्गाची तुलना करू शकता. दॅट्स वाय दिस कोट दे हॅव युज्ड. बिफोर कमिंग टू द कान्हा नॅशनल पार्क, आपल्यातल्या किती लोकांना हे माहिती पण नाही आहे की देर आर टाइप्स ऑफ फॉरेस्ट. ओके, आर्किटेक्चरली किंवा ज्याला आपण बायोलॉजिकली म्हणतो त्यात ड्राय फॉरेस्ट, रेन फॉरेस्ट, ट्रॉपिकल फॉरेस्ट, या टाइपचे वेगवेगळे फॉरेस्ट आहेत. दॅट्स फाईन, बट दॅट इज बिकॉज ऑफ देअर नेचर ऑफ दॅट फॉरेस्ट अँड फ्लोरा अँड फॉना ओव्हर देअर. फॉर ह्युमन बिईंग, नॅशनल पार्क हा कन्सेप्ट आपल्या इथे 1972 खऱ्या अर्थाने अस्तित्वात आला. पहिला नॅशनल पार्क, पहिले देअर वर ओनली 5 नॅशनल पार्क्स ॲट 1972, ज्याच्यामध्ये कॉर्बेट, रणथंबोर, देन बांधवगड, ताडोबा अँड कान्हा, हे पहिले 5 नॅशनल पार्क आपल्या इथले. आणि त्यानंतर आजच्या घडीला जवळपास 30च्या वर नॅशनल पार्क्स आहेत. व्हॉट इज द डिफरन्स बिटवीन नॅशनल पार्क अँड जनरल फॉरेस्ट? त्यानंतर अॅनिमल सँक्च्युरी येतात. जसं तुम्हाला माहिती असेल तर भीमाशंकर जे आपल्या इथे जवळ आहे, भीमाशंकरला शेकरू अभयारण्य म्हणतात. दॅट्स अ स्पेसिफिक पर्टिक्युलर स्पेसीच्या टाईपचं अभयारण्य. ती स्पेसी तिथे सापडते, तिचं हॅबिटॅट कंट्रोल करायला ती ठेवलेली आहे. किंवा नानच पक्षी जर तुम्हाला कोणाला माहिती असेल तर मालढोक, द ग्रेट इंडियन बस्टर्ड नावाचा पक्षी आहे, ज्याच्या कॉन्झर्वेशनसाठी आता स्पेसिफिक एफर्ट्स घेतात आहेत. त्या टाईपच्या स्पेसिफिक
ॲनिमल ऑर स्पेसी रिलेटेड ज्या फॉरेस्ट असतात त्याला ॲनिमल सँक्च्युरी म्हणतात. देन देर आर रिझर्व्ड ऑर प्रोटेक्टेड फॉरेस्ट, जसं रेहकुरीचं अभयारण्य आहे किंवा वेस्टर्न घाट आहे. या टाईपचे जे फॉरेस्ट असतात, जिथे जे फॉरेस्ट आहेत पण तिथे काही लिमिटेड कमर्शियल यूज अलाउड आहेत, म्हणजे जिथे हॉटेल्स बांधता येतात लिमिटमध्ये, जिथे रिसॉर्ट्स बांधता येतात, जिथे तुम्हाला प्रायव्हेट फार्म्स बांधता येतात त्यांना. बट ॲट द सेम टाइम या कुठल्याही प्रकाराला तुम्हाला फॉरेस्ट डिपार्टमेंटची परमिशन घ्यावी लागते. त्यासाठी रिझॉर्ट किंवा प्रोटेक्टेड फॉरेस्ट म्हणतात. कॉन्झर्वेशन अँड कम्युनिटी रिझोर्स, आपल्यातल्या किती लोकांना यू हर्ड जरवा नावाची जी एक ट्राईब आहे अंदमान निकोबारमध्ये? Anybody heard about it? To protect that tribal, there is separate type of forest. म्हणजे शेवटी आता काय वेळ आली बघा तुम्ही की इव्हन काही टाईपचे ह्युमन स्पेसीजला सुद्धा प्रिझर्व करायला आपल्याला आता वेगळे फॉरेस्ट करावं लागतात आहे. सो दॅट बिकॉज दॅट कम्युनिटी हॅज नॉट डेव्हलप्ड ॲट ऑल, दे आर स्टील लाईक लिव्हिंग इन रॉ. आणि त्यांच्या भोवतीचं एन्व्हायरमेंट तसंच ठेवण्यासाठी जे फॉरेस्ट तयार केलं गेलं त्याला कम्युनिटी रिझोर्स म्हणतात, कॉन्झर्वेशन ऑफ कम्युनिटी. त्यांच्यासोबत बाय द वे ते जरवा नावाचे जे अंदमान निकोबारला आदिवासी आहेत त्यांच्यासोबत फोटो काढायला पण परमिशन नाही आहे. आणि तिथे गाडीतनं आपल्याला खाली उतरता येत नाही, म्हणजे तिथे प्राण्यांसारखं माणसांना बघावं लागतं की हे जरवा. समटाइम्स you find it too funny or cruel, but that's the way. It's to avoid our contamination of diseases into that species, because they are immune to our diseases. देन विलेज और पंचायत फॉरेस्ट, हा इश्यू तुम्हाला सगळ्यांना पुढे तुम्ही पासआउट झाल्यानंतर तुम्हाला हा इश्यू येणार आहे. खालचे जे दोन आहेत ते फार केअरफुली वाचून ठेवा, कारण आपण जेव्हा आर्किटेक्चरचा कोर्स करून कम्प्लीट केल्यानंतर एखादं फार्म हाऊस किंवा एखादं प्रोजेक्ट डिझाईन करायला जाऊ तेव्हा विलेज अँड पंचायत फॉरेस्ट अँड प्रायव्हेट फॉरेस्ट या दोन कॅटेगरीशी तुमचा लँड यूजमध्ये संबंध येणार आहे. या दोन्ही प्रकारच्या फॉरेस्टमध्ये ओनरशिप आयदर विलेजकडे असते किंवा खालचं जसे फॉरेस्ट आहे त्याला प्रायव्हेट माणसाकडे असते, पण त्याचा दर्जा हा फॉरेस्ट असतो. म्हणजे एखाद्या जमिनीवर फॉरेस्ट आहे तिथे फॉरेस्ट म्हणायला जे काय क्रायटेरिया दिलेले आहेत ते सगळे आहेत, पण ॲट द सेम टाइम तिथे तुम्हाला ओनरशिप गव्हर्नमेंटची नाही आहे. वरच्या चारही कॅटेगरीमध्ये ओनरशिप ही गव्हर्नमेंटची असते आणि खालच्या दोन कॅटेगरीमध्ये ओनरशिप कॅन बी विथ द विलेज or with the private person. Most of you all guys knowing the location of Kanha, it's central India. त्याच्यावर मी फारसा वेळ घेत नाही. मध्य प्रदेशमध्ये specifically now what is so special about Kanha? Whenever it comes to the concept of forest or whenever concept, it's like celebrity. म्हणजे जसं हिंदी पिक्चरचं नाव घेतलं तर अमिताभ बच्चनला बाजूला काढू शकत नाही तुम्ही, तसं फॉरेस्टचं नाव घेतलं, सगळ्या फॉरेस्ट कॅटेगरीचं नाव घेतलं तर कान्हा इज फर्स्ट नेम विच कम टू एनीबडीज माइंड. सो व्हॉट इज सो स्पेशल? टायगर जर तुम्ही म्हणत असाल तर टायगर भारतातल्या 50 जंगलांमध्ये दिसतो. सो दॅट इज नथिंग लाईक दॅट. द मेन अट्रॅक्शन अबाउट कान्हा इज द सेंट्रल लोकेशन. इट्स लाईक हार्ट ऑफ इंडिया, right in the center of India, is the hugeness. Means those who have visited they can understand. तिथे गेल्यानंतर माणसाला आपण किती छोटा आहे हे कळायला लागतं. इतका मैलोन-मैल पसरलेला जंगलांचा जो एक्सपांड आहे आणि ऑब्व्हियसली त्याच्यामुळे येणारी जी बायोडायव्हर्सिटी आहे त्याच्यामुळे कान्हा स्पेशल आहे. मोगलीचं जे जंगल बुक आहे ते कान्हामध्ये लिहिला गेला आहे. म्हणजे याच्यावरनं तुम्ही अंदाज कराल की त्यावेळेस जो इट कुड हॅव बीन रिटन, इट हॅज बीन रिटन इन लेट 1800. त्यावेळेस पूर्ण भारतामध्ये जवळपास 60% भागावर जंगल होतं. या शुअर. सो ॲट दॅट टाइम मोस्ट ऑफ द लँड इन आवर कंट्री वॉज कवर्ड बाय फॉरेस्ट अँड स्टील दे प्रिफर्ड Kanha as their center of attraction because of the biodiversity you have got over there. Major wildlife attraction. See, any forest could not be without wildlife, obviously. But then what are the major wildlife attraction of the Kanha? Unfortunately, in our country, any wildlife destination is been tagged as tiger oriented. But it's not tiger. Whenever you ask something, if you meet somebody who has visited Kanha or any forest, have you seen tiger? That's the first question come down to your mind. Our first question is being asked to you. But is that mean that tiger is the only guy who rules the forest? Yes, he rules the forest. But then tiger is at the apex of a chain. The entire chain, right from the grass, right from the trees, right from the birds, right from the deer species, they all make a forest. what is any forest? See, one thing while studying nature is most important to understand the nature itself first and the climate over there. The best time to visit Kanha is midsummer, like April and May. The temperature soars to 41 degree to 42 degree, but at the same time, because it's a central India, rains are very poor in that time, and then it don't have any perennial water source. So obviously the normal regular water has been dried up, and there are few water holes remaining, and the best time to sight the tiger is summer. But if you really want to know the forest, if you really want to visit the Kanha, if you really want to see the Kanha, feel the Kanha, then I will always suggest you go in the winter. Because at winter, the temperature is too down. At many times it hits to 3 degree to 4 degree, but at the same time, the biodiversity is at the best at the time of winter. For that way, any season is welcome to visit the forest. But specifically, if you really understand the biodiversity of any forest in India, in central part of India, winter is the best season. Now, coming to the Kanha. Right from visiting there, unfortunately, what I observed in our Indian tourists is, whenever they went to any forest or any place, we hardly study about that place. We just pack our bag and go there as per the availability of the reservation. Unlike foreign tourists, they thoroughly study the place they are going to visit, what they want to see over there, how to behave over there, what kind of clothes you should carry, what type of path you should take, what is to be seen over there. It's not only forest and only tiger you are visiting Kanha. You are visiting Kanha to, right from reaching to the Kanha, to study Kanha forest. Everything you can absorb, and that's where we lack. Means how to reach Kanha? There are 3-4 ways. You can go by railway, you can go by road, you can go by air. But the best way is always to go to any places by road, because you come to study. You guys are, this is specifically important for you all, because you are an architectural student. You are not going to study only tiger or only forest, that kind of stuff, but you are going to study the entire society segment over there. Which kind of people lives around Kanha? A forest is made by the people, by the trees, by the animals, by the every air flowing through that. That is what makes a forest beautiful. And for that, if you travel by road, I think you can visit and you can enjoy such type of scenes all around. This is the right entry gate of Kanha. Most important factor which we forgot is, like, there are manners to behave in public places. Well, like if you go to any hotel, obviously your behavior pattern at Durga and Marriott are different, isn't it? So everywhere some manners has to be followed. The same way, if we are visiting a forest like Kanha, there are some manners which we usually forgot. Most important is that the dress code itself. It starts from right from dress code, and this is I am telling not for Kanha only. Whenever you will be going to any outing of any forest, I have seen people are going to any forest like going for a party or going for a date. So that's not expected. You are going to see the forest, and the animal should not get offended with your dress codes. Another important factor for all the girls, don't go with makeup and perfumes and cosmetics. It's not only because of fun I am telling it. Many of the wild animals are too much get scared because of the perfumes, as their senses are too strong than us. And I myself have got hit. See, this is the biggest threat. Honeybees, if you apply perfume, they get attracted. And what will happen? Definitely you are not a flower to welcome honeybees. And serious accidents have been happened, serious mishaps have been happened due to attack of honeybees in forest. Specifically. So this, as we never read, unfortunate part is we as a tourist never understand this. We don't take any effort to upgrade ourselves on this front. Neither forest department nor there is any agency who tells us what we should do and what we should not. This is one important aspect we should learn. Another important aspect is forest you have to see as per forest timing, not as per your timing. In the winter, Kanha gets open at 5:30 in the morning. So that in 4:30 in the morning, you have to be up in your bed, and by 5 o'clock, see, this is not a night photograph. This is photograph at the morning we are waiting at Kanha gate. So at this time, you should be ready. If you feel ki, no, I will go at my leisure, and by 7:30, I am used to wake up at 7:30, and I don't have shower yet, and there is no hot water, fine. All these things you have to keep aside when you really want to enjoy forest. And then you start with Kanha. The best part about Kanha, because of the biodiversity, is the Kanha trees or Kanha fauna. Kanha is a sal forest, and as you all must be knowing, sal is means evergreen forest. There is no in all 12 months of the year, sal forest remains cool, and that's why Kanha. The better part of Kanha is, even though outside temperature is 43, 44 degrees, once you enter into the forest, the temperature drops down by 4 to 5 degrees straight away. There you realize the importance and the difference between concrete jungle and living in the real actual jungle. So those who are interested in landscaping and horticulture, definitely I have never came across any scheme. I myself plant sal trees in my projects, but I have never come any project where the landscape architecture has given me sal trees to plant. But if you plant sal trees open space, it helps in keeping down temperature of the entire premise where the sal trees are there. Then another manners is using flashlight. Unfortunately, see the difference in, this is the single shot. With due respect, right side photograph is not taken by me. So let me clear about it. When you are in forest, you are not there to show what kind of camera instrument you are carrying. You are there to understand that this is a natural habitat, and you should not use flash or make noise, that kind of thing, where their privacy or their surrounding get disturbed. And this is major mistake which many photographers or many tourists keeps on doing. As I don't say they are doing it deliberately, but unfortunately these things happen. I will share something very interesting in this. Many tourists don't understand that they are supposed to capture the animals or birds in their natural form. I have seen tourists showing off bisons or tigers. Hey, look here, that kind of thing. Like he will pose them for the their photography. So it's not done. If you really want to enjoy the forest, do it in their natural habitat. Another aspect of Kanha or any forest. See, whenever I am mentioning here Kanha, because this is a case study of Kanha, I am saying Kanha. But it is applicable to most of the forest in India. Indian forest, as we have got three types of seasons, winter, rains and summer. Indian forest, the beauty of Indian forest is, in every season, you will find different, the same forest look different. And that's why, if you really want to enjoy a forest or understand a forest, enjoy won't be a proper word, we are not a tourist. We will be visiting forest to become a better architecture. So, to study the forest, you should visit the same forest in all three seasons. Then you will understand. See, this is the same spot photograph, which pointer. Okay. This is the same spot photograph taken from the same spot. You can see the difference. This is in winter morning. This is a summer morning, and this is the change in the entire landscape which the season can make it. See, again, that was the grassland photograph. This is the photograph of internal sal forest roads. The same forest in winter, it looks foggy. The trees colors are different. The road, even the road will look different. And in summer, everything will be totally different. So that's the beauty you are supposed to enjoy. Another important aspect which I mentioned about Kanha is, what captures you in Kanha is its vastness. As I say, after going to Kanha, I realized that there is no fun in calling myself I have got so much big projects. I have built a township like Vishwa, which is biggest township till now, and all those things. My township is hardly peanuts in front of what township nature has built over here. And then it is not necessary that there should be buildings. See the biodiversity nature God has created over here. And here you started to understand the importance of the landscape and the surrounding. Now, like forest, what you have to understand is, even every animal responds to the season over there. Here, right from a deer to bird, they all changes color. Like Barsinga. About Barsinga, I will share an interesting thing. How many of you knows anything special about Barsinga? Anybody knows anything special about Barsinga? Or is it just a deer? Yes? It's only found in Kanha in entire world. In 1985, Barsinga was on the term of extinct. There were only 70 Barsingas left all over the world in Kanha. And then somebody who has got affection, like you all are sitting over here, and government came together. They understand the importance of Barsinga getting extinct, and they worked very hard to survive, to make Barsinga survive. And now there are near about 2,000 odd Barsingas. And main important factor is younger people, younger generation who are professionals in different fields joined hand together. They have helped, they have formed a special task force, Barsinga task force over there. And with their inputs, right from here, the importance of engineering or architecture comes into the play, because how to conserve the habitat. See, you may be a forest officer, but forest officers are not trained to conserve any particular surrounding. Whereas those who are professional like yours, like architectural or engineering, we are what we are. We are technically, we are technocrats. We know how to conserve a particular surrounding. With the help of such people, Barsinga task force has been formed, and now the species is blooming all over the Kanha. See the difference. This is the color in midsummer. This is color in late summer, the same species. And then this is in winter. And with this, you can say Barsinga is really one of the most beautiful animal to capture. Means I personally, as a wildlife photographer, I personally like to click Barsinga more than tiger or any other species. This is because of the grace and sheer balance the animal poses. While moving into the forest, what forest has taught me not to just shoot the animals by my camera, but just to observe the different movements around. What is importance of architectural course or a civil engineering course, which we are in real estate or project actual execution? We have to pay attention to the minute details about the things happening around us. And this is what forest teaches. Wildlife photography is not something to get always some great shots. Wildlife photography is understanding the movements around. Like here, why I click this particular shot is, like these three male guys are sitting, and like on our morning katta, three people are chatting over the cup of tea. They seem like chatting something within their own language. So that makes the frame interesting. And this is what we have to understand. And then every movement, many a times I have come across people in the forest that all the time they are searching. Those who have visited tiger parks or national parks, they must have come across every gypsy crossing each other. The people sitting in the gypsy looks at each other expectantly. Dekha kya? Dikha kya? So that kind of question they must be asking all the time. What is that dekha kya or dikha kya? It is always tiger. But in that gist, we miss all the fun happening in the forest. Because there are so many scenes which forest can put in front of you and keeps you always engaged, provided you are not only behind tigers. Then what forest has taught me, or what forest has taught many people who has visited forest, is the community living and the leadership also. Here in this photograph, this guy is a leader of the pack. And trust me, what is the life of deer, specifically small species like cheetah, who is best prey for tiger and leopard in the forest. What is their worst, weakest movement in forest? The weakest movement is when they are drinking water. Because at that time, their whole concentration is towards water, and they don't see the enemy coming from behind. So, if you have observed any animal, any herbivorous animal drinking water, they are most afraid while going to drinking the water or the water hole. What these cheetah guys have found out a solution on that. The male never drinks water when all his herd is drinking water. The male keeps eye on this side from where attack can be possible. And when all these guys will finish drinking, then only he comes for drinking water. Look, simple things, and these things are important when any of us will be becoming a project leader or will be becoming leader of our own firm. At that time, this particular habit we should accept. That in front of a most difficult client, we should not put forward our colleague. In front of most difficult client, we should face the situation. That's what these type of scenes in the forest teaches us. And then you have to look for the minute details. See the difference. In a first flicker, this deer and this deer, you will feel similar. But this is a very rarest species of deer which found again only in central part of India. This is Chausinga, which has got 4 horns. And this is barking deer. Though they are very similar, but the beauty of forest is when you are, once you get addicted to forest, addicted is the more better word I will always use. When you get addicted to forest, you started seeing things more keenly. Believe me, this habit will come very handy when you will be visiting your own design projects are in execution. Because at that time, your drawing is in your mind and what is happening at site, that should be continuously compared within your mind server. And it will be only possible when you look at the things more keenly what is happening. And these are sambars. Again, if you observe at water hole, different species follow a discipline, which we can't follow at our signal also. It's not that now this guy is a bigger animal, it could always shoo these 2 small birds, but it will wait patiently unless until they drink, he won't come inside. That's the best part. Look at this photograph. See, here also, this guy is leader. I was observing for 20 minutes this entire episode at waterhole in Kanha. This guy was waiting all the time. First, the smallest of the infants were allowed to drink water. Then the female of the pack. Then the middle-aged and elderly males. And then the leader used to drink the water. These are, and then such situations also. See, why I will like to introduce you, why we specifically chose this subject to introduce you. Right now, forests also are getting through a very bad, what I can say, era. They need a lot of technical hands, they need a lot of technical support, they need a lot of professional know-how to conserve the forest. Right now, specifically forest like Kanha, which depends totally on rains. If one year rain gets less, rainfall gets less, this is the scenario. And the animals like monkeys or deers who can't migrate for a longer distance, they simply die because of lack of water. And here role of our conservation comes into the picture, where we should not only visit forest, but we should put our inputs, we should give our inputs to those guys to conserve the forest. Then some interesting scenes are to cross that small stream. The pack, they tried from all the way, I was following them, and at one place they realized that from here, it's like a long jump, they can cross that particular stream, but for that, they have to travel half a kilometer downstream, and till that time, see, the bigger male in that pack could have easily jumped and gone away. But the pack was consisting of small monkeys, then there were females who were carrying their kids, and all this should cross it. It's not that only one person is getting crossed so the entire herd get through. Obviously, these are the very basic things which we can learn from forest. See, if any of us can create this kind of landscape in our project, I think that will be our every forest exposure gets paid off. And another important aspect while visiting forest is, you should understand the trees. Right now, what is lagging in our Pune city and what we are seeing is, we are missing real wild trees. All we are planting, all our landscaping architecture teaches how to provide exotic trees and good looking trees and then fancy trees. But unfortunately, the basic indigenous trees like ghost tree, which changes his skin color, it has been called as a ghost tree because in every season, the tree color gets different. And at night, the entire tree glows like it has been powered by inside. And then the most beautiful part is when you look at the birds of Kanha or anywhere, what I will like to get through all this our sharing is, any of your single student, if he becomes a bird watcher, I will say you have achieved something really nice. Because once you start understanding birds and their lifestyle and their colors, then the life you can implement same color themes and same type of freshness in your designs also. All these things for that, and for bird watching, most important is you have to be very patient. It's very easy to click a big object like Barsinga or tiger, but it's very difficult to click a particular small species of bird, because at that time you should be very observant, very sensitive. Anyone of you who have attended Kiran Purandare's first lecture at VANAJA? I think few of you must have. Kiran Purandare sir definitely, whenever you get any chance to attend Kiran Purandare sir's that lecture, do attend. That is one guy who can mimic 60 voices of bird. Imagine, and I have seen that when he tries some bird's voice, that bird responds from other side. Such is the mastery of that guy on birding. And then different type of birds have got different habitats. When you study birds, what you study is not only bird and his colors. You study about the bird's habitat. Right now, they are saying that Pune is lagging biodiversity, and blame goes to you and me, means architects and builders and engineers. We are not able to see sparrows. You guys are fortunate because you have got an old habitat munto. A lot of old trees I have seen in Karvenagar as the Stri Shikshan complex. But at the same time, big old trees and the habitats of sparrows are missing from the city. There is always debate in newspaper that sparrows and other trees or other birds are missing, and everybody blames builders, architects and engineers for that. Because it's only because of builders and their buildings. And when you say you are blaming buildings, who is at blame? It's you and me. We are not providing designs where sparrow can make their homes. We are not planting trees and conserving them where sparrow and other birds can survive. And then they are getting vanished. Obviously, you and me are going to get blamed. So these are the things. If you study birds and they're like hoopoe, how many times you have last seen this hoopoe last in city area? When I came to Pune for engineering in '86, there used to be hoopoes on Prabhat Road and Bhandarakar Road. But now slowly every tree has given up and buildings have come up. And most important factor is, it's not only trees and buildings. What has happened, if you study birds, like you need a shower, birds need mud bath. Because every bird's feather, to keep those feather moist, there is a oil secretion from their feathers. And that excess oil is been washed by mud. So you must have, those of who have observed sparrows or any birds, they are playing in muds. We thought that they are playing in muds. It's not that. They are taking mud bath. And if there are no soil conservation, no topsoil preservance, or no mud or dust on the roads, birds will automatically vanish. And with the type of concretization and hard paving in around our buildings and everything, either we provide lawns or we go for the concrete blocks. So where is earth? And then where this guy, right now also if you see this guy is sitting in dust. So if there is no dust around your complex, believe me, no bird will come around your complex. This, unless and until we visit forest, we don't understand their lifestyle and we won't implement it in our project. See, every bird, in forest, every bird, sometime or other, he has to come on dust. He has to come on road. Then and then it will be a physically fit condition for flying. These are some just slides of different birds and their photographs. Even vultures. See, vultures are getting extinct is all we keep on reading. But what we do for preservation of vultures? We do nothing. And why we do nothing? Because we don't know what to do for preservation of vultures. Vultures breed at very high places. And for that, they need trees like banyan or neem, which grows at least 50-60 feet high. Nowadays, we don't plant that kind of trees. So obviously, vulture got extinct because they feel unsafe to come down and nest on smaller trees. Look at this. This photograph I have taken by 300 lens. The bird is sitting at least 120 feet above ground level. But now tell me a tree which you have seen in Pune, which is 100 feet and 100 feet high. There are no such type of trees now. And then birds like owls or woodpecker who needs trees with gaps like this in the tree. So they can make their own, they can't make their own home on their own. But they need such type of places and such type of trees for their survivals. Another thing which we miss in forest is the minute details. Like fungi. See, a biodiversity wise reach. Whenever you will be making any landscaping, just don't make it as a exotic looking thing. Try to cultivate a forest over there. And if you really want to cultivate a forest in that small open space, you have to understood it's not only big trees and birds which makes forest, it's even the algae, fungi and this wildflower which makes forest. And then even the smaller animals like snakes, lizards, then worms, spiders, all these smallest species which makes a chain of entire forest. And for that, you need to provide their habitats individually. Everything, like Bami, we might be calling it as something at Varul, in Hindi they call it Bami, and ant home or termite home. By the way, this termite home has inspired Hafiz contractor for his famous building in Goregaon, Meg Mallar Raga. If you have seen or if you have seen the design, it's same like Bami. And Hafiz contractor in his sharing has specifically mentioned that ant house has made him inspired that kind of design. And the smallest of the wild forests. Then there are huge animals like the Kanha. This is another big attraction of Kanha, which this particular guy weighs up to near about 1 ton to 1.5 ton and can overturn a truck also by his power. So you have to keep distance while photographing about it. It's like Clash of Titans, these things. And this is one more picture which I would like to share. This is more rare than tiger. But unfortunately, I have come across when I was photographing this particular picture, unfortunately a lady came into joining my gypsy and she was telling to her guide, कि आम्ही काय मांजरीचे फोटो काढायला दोघं इथे. And believe me, wildcat is more rare than tiger. In my 15 years of forest moving, I have once or twice seen wildcat and only once I was able to photograph it. Then this is a bigger portion of cat, and then at the end we came to the tiger. The best part in Kanha or any other forest is to chase the tiger. See, to see the tiger inside a cage, it's fine. But to chase the tiger from its pug mark, from its calls, whenever any other animal in the forest sense tiger, they give different types of calls, and then from that you can see, this is the photograph, like from calls, all these vehicles are waiting to see the tiger. That's the power of that animal, and then suddenly it comes out of your some thickets. So this is fun. This type of tigers watching is, I will say, really you have seen Kanha. Because unless and until you have really feel the tiger around, it's said in forest, then when you have seen tiger once, the tiger has seen you at least 50 times. Because it's so easily it merges into the surrounding that very trained eyes also can't differentiate. And then tiger can hear a click from distance of nearly half a kilometer. So he is so aware about your movements that your just gypsy tire sound and it will go inside the grass, and your gypsy will pass out 10 feet from him and you will don't know that tiger is sitting in that thicket. The daring of the tiger is such that another thing, that reason why tiger is poached more is the tiger really is a king of forest. He is just fearless. Means I have seen a tiger, I will show the next photograph, pushing 4 gypsies behind for near about 4 kilometers. See, he just keep walking on us, and we have to nothing, we can't do nothing. We have to reverse our gypsies. Nearly 3 kilometers we were reversing, and the tiger didn't change its course. But the same habit of this animal makes him easiest hunting prey. Because what happens? A tiger is a animal of a habit. He will follow that path only. If he want to go to water, he won't take any other route. He will go definitely from that particular path. So the poachers or illegal hunters, they know if the tiger has taken this particular path, he will follow that path, and they lay their trap on that particular path, and the tiger get trapped. Why we should study forest and how we should conserve forest is, it's not only tiger and its habits which we are talking about. Whenever you will be going to forest, or whenever you will be visiting forest, what is your main role? The main role of you is, tiger is, as I say, is at the apex of that forest. And if you really want to save tiger, you have to save the entire system in which tiger lives. And that entire system don't cover just tigers. See, and the power of tiger is, this is not a grown-up tiger. This is just a 2 years old cub. And it could lift the deer entirely and could carry near about 3 to 4 kilometers without touching the feet of the deer to the earth. That's the power in his jaw, and that's the power in his neck. My contribution individually, earlier they were used to do tiger shows in Kanha. Means the elephants were used to trap the tiger at particular place. Then tourists used to come to elephant, and then by paying some money, the elephant used to carry to the tiger. So I wrote this particular photograph a bit earlier, which we saw. This is I captured while one of the tiger shows, when tiger was wanting to move away, but the elephant trapped him at one place, which he didn't like. You can see from his anger. I wrote to the forest department, and I specifically mentioned that by making tiger shows, we are killing attraction of tourists towards the forest. Because most of the tourists think that they pay the money, they see the tiger, and for them forest is done. Unfortunately, that's not we call tourists to the forest. We call tourists to the forest that they should get affiliated to forest. They should understand the importance of the forest, and by things like tiger show, and we are doing 2 mistakes. We are giving false picture of the forest to the tourist. At the same time, we are encroaching on tiger's territory. When a tiger don't want himself to show the tourist, you are making him forced to show the tourist. I showed that photograph, and from next year, tiger show in Kanha got closed. Now there are no more tiger shows in Kanha. You have to see the tiger in its natural form. So this is what we have to understand. And then this is photograph of Kanha sky. See, it's not only repeatedly whenever I try to share my experiences about Kanha or any other forest, I always try to say it's not only tiger or animals, try to grasp everything comes to your way. It's not necessary. See, a forest is never asleep. Standard or conventional architectural practices or career practices. Any of you can appear for IFS like exam Indian Forest Services and go to the forest and join forest and use your knowledge to conserve the forest. And for that, as I say, when you say save the tiger, this is the scenario. Means a guard has to live all 24 hours all alone in this type of hut, where there is no basic protection. Imagine yourself, for 48 hours, you are cut off from entire world. All around you is only animals and forest, and only mean to you to communicate to outer world is a walkie-talkie, no 3G or Wi-Fi. And such 48 hours you have to spend. Because every guard shift is 48 hours. And then you will imagine how difficult it is to live in the forest and still to conserve the forest. And what you can make to make life of these people better, that is equally important. These are the peoples which lives around Kanha. They are mostly tribals, and their survival also depends upon Kanha. Why you all should visit Kanha? Because somebody of us can be client of these poor kids, and they could get some earnings out of our visits. Because unless and until they won't survive, forest won't survive. Imagine these kids, if they don't have got any earnings, what they will do? They will join hand with poachers and give information to poacher about the animal movements. Because they know forest in and out better than any of us. Obviously, if they are jobless or they don't earn anything, all they will do is go to illegal trades. What we can do individually, even like what I will like to VANAJA or all of you girls come together, visit such places, meet the people around over there and try to understand what the place need. Like what we did, there are guards and guides and laborers. In one of my visit, this I am sharing not what I have done or what I have achieved. This I am sharing because someone of you can inspire by such sharing and do something better for the forest. During my last visit, 2 years back, during my last visit to Kanha, there was some shout and I asked what happened. So they said there is a snake bite and a worker has been bitten by snake, which is a normal thing over there. Those workers are tribal over there and they are used to work barefoot. And a snake, mostly it bites at your ankle level. That's it. So I asked how many such snake bites happens in Kanha. Some 300 to 350 snake bites per year happen in Kanha. And mostly they are workers who are working in the field. So after coming back, I spoke with few of my friends and we combinedly designed a lightweight safety shoe, rubber shoe till above the ankle level. And we donated such 300 shoes to the Kanha laborers. And now we appeal the forest department that they should provide whenever the laborers are going to the forest for working, they will carry the shoes and while coming back they will submit the shoes again at the gate. Touch wood, the success rate was next year there were only 30 snake bites. So that's our contribution. And not only snake bites are reduced, but at the same time, what has happened? The labor are more carefree now. They can more comfortably work on work in forest. So they are also fear-free or stress-free by these kind of things. So this is the things which we should do. And this is like we came up with shoes. If tomorrow you can go to the Kanha and you can come out with something different, that will be anyway. Ultimately, what is saving tiger? You are not supposed to go and feed the tiger by your hand to save him. You are supposed to save the surrounding in which tiger is there. Then as I say, manners in a forest, you are supposed to see any forest during its limits, during its rules. You have to play by forest rules. You can't, these are another like rash driving. Means, even if we make ourselves aware, you are such a big force, run a campaign. This scene you can see in our Mulchi or Tamani Ghat also. Like snakes coming under the wheels of speeding vehicle. I don't say ki don't drive vehicles. But at the same time, whenever you are passing through a forest or whenever you are passing through a particular area where local forest is there, you can control your speed. Even that kind of awareness, do you know how many snakes get killed under the vehicles entire country? More than the people who are got snake bite, the snakes get killed under the tires. Now who is more at fault? We say there are snake bites, but more than snake bites, more snakes are killed under our own vehicles. So then we can run an awareness campaign. This is the scene. Look at what's the fault of that guy. Agreed, those people who are killing that animal, they must have been suffered because of his acts. But ultimately, it's architects and engineers who has encroached on forest so that species has to move out of his habitat and attack on our people. And that's why, look at the end. See, if this is the treatment we are giving to an animal who has encroached on our territory, what kind of treatment animal should give us for encroaching on a forest and building buildings? Just imagine to yourself. I don't see, go and live on trees or tree houses. But at least we should, all of us who will be responsible to build some project while passing out over here, we should bear that responsibility on our mind. Ki look here, ki we will be encouraging by any raw land. Any raw land never produces any pollution. Imagine you have got a project to design a building on some barren land. But that barren land don't demand petrol. That barren land don't demand water. that barren land has got a, it may seem barren, but it has got ants, it has got lizards, it has got so many worms living on over there. And when you and me will be building on that particular land, we will be digging up their house first. We will be literally dehousing them by excavating all the soil over there. And then we will be putting buildings over there which will demand oxygen, which will demand petrol, which will demand water. So indirectly, we are the people who are somewhere responsible not to just destruction of a forest, but destruction of an entire life cycle. Agreed? That's our job. We can't stop building because human needs homes. But at the same time, what I will like to appeal you all girls over here is keep that particular aspect in your mind that while building somebody's house, don't dehouse someone. And if you are throwing out of someone out of his house, then it's our responsibility to see that we create a surrounding environment, surrounding infrastructure for their house also. And at the end, to conclude this particular sharing about Kanha, what you learn from the forest. It's not that just you went over there, you saw animals, you click photographs of tiger, you are happy, you shared it on Facebook, Instagram and all that thing, and things are done. You get all likes for your nice photography. That's fine. That's part of visit. That is outcome of our visit. But at the same time, ask yourself what you have learned while coming out of that forest. And see that what you have learned, it has been adopted in your creation. I think if that aspect itself you start learning, rest will follow automatically. And from forest like Kanha, this is something which we learn, and this is something which we should take back. Not only we should take back from Kanha, but we should incultivate it in our projects and our creations. Then and then, I will say, we deserve next forest trip. Otherwise, then fine, there are hundreds of tourists which go there, have fun, see tiger, come back, forget about that tiger and forget about that forest. But then that is common man. If you want to have something different and you have to differentiate between yourself and others, then you have to keep this aspect open. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. That was really very entertaining and interesting. I'm sure you've inspired a lot of us to visit Kanha on the very next holidays we get.
Sure. I think you all girls should come together, and one of agendas of VANAJA is to visit forest also. So surely Asmita madam could organize that. That will be more better.
Do any of you have any questions?
Don't ask that, can you be able to see the tiger? That I can't answer. Rest, anything you can ask.
So with this we come to the end of the program. There are certain people we'd like to thank without whom this program wouldn't be possible. Umesh sir, Milind sir and his technical team, Danav sir and the admin department, and all the student and faculty coordinators of VANAJA. And also, once again, we'd like to thank Sanjay sir for lending us his valuable time. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Also, there is an upcoming outdoor activity which is organized by VANAJA. It is a one-day nature trail to Kundalika Valley. You can contact Umesh Chavan sir for further details. Thank you. Have a great weekend ahead.